Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for coming today. Let me introduce myself. I'm Rosanna Leung from Ishu University, and I'm the host of today. So not only welcome every one of you here, we would like to welcome everyone who are now online. So we have a lot of members who are overseas, and we are so happy to have everyone that have these hybrid events to form. The topic of today is smart events, smart tourism, and smart service. So today, this is a hybrid event. Without smart technology, we won't make this event happen. So today, we will have a very exciting topics today. So a lot of speakers will share with us a lot of insight about smart service and smart technology on events. So I really look forward to listen to all the speakers today. So before we start, I would like to share with you some background information about this event. So this hybrid event is advised by the Bureau of Foreign Trade of Ministry of Economic Affairs of Taiwan, and then organized by the Taiwan External Trade Development Council, as well as TCEA, Taiwan Convention and Exhibition Association. It is also our pleasure to have our educational support from PCMA, Professional Convention Management Association, and IFITT, International Federation for Information Technology in Travel and Tourism. And also, of course, as I mentioned, without smart technology, we cannot make this event happen. So thank you so much for our sponsorship for Acupass, who will support all the technical side for this hybrid event. So before we start, I would like to invite the president of TCMA, Mr. James Wu, on stage. Mr. James Wu, please.
Good morning. Good afternoon. Sorry, good afternoon. Good afternoon day. Our honorable guest, Director Luo, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Taiwan Convention and Exhibition Association, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to the Bureau of Foreign Trade, Ministry of Economic Affairs, Taiwan, and TAITRA, PCMA, and IFITT, and all participants who are gathered here. I'm much delighted to welcome you to the Forum of 2021 Taiwan Business Event Day, which celebrates the 30th anniversary of the Taiwan Convention and Exhibition Association. TCEA was founded in 1991 in response to the need for an efficient convention and exhibition coordination association to serve the MICE industry in Taiwan. TCEA has hence become the most distinguished and the only association in comparison with 4 spectrum of professionals in organizing and handling international events, and works closely with relevant government agencies in actively promoting Taiwan's MICE industry. As we know, the COVID-19 pandemic has severely affected the global economy as well as the MICE industry. Therefore, under the shadow of COVID-19, the theme for the 2021 TBED would like to explore the application of smart events, smart tourism, and smart service in MICE sector. We are honored to work with PCMA and IFITT to deliver this hybrid forum to all of you. You will hear from professionals from academic institutes, industry, and international associations to share their thoughts and on the future trend and development in events industry. I would like to welcome you all again to join us today. I wish the event a great success and all guests and the participants most rewarding and enjoy time. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wu. Next, I would like to invite Ms. Kathleen Law, the Executive Director of Taiwan External Trade Development Council International Trade Institute, on stage to have a speech. Mrs. Law, please.
James Wu of TCEA, and ladies and gentlemen, and the distinguished guests, good afternoon. On behalf of TITRA, I would like to express our great pleasure in having you join us for today's forum, Smart Events, Smart Tourism, and Smart Service class. Under the shadow of COVID-19, the theme for 2021 is for sure to explore the application of smart events, smart tourism, and smart services in the MICE sector. By collaborating with the Professional Convention Management Association and International Federation for IT, Travel, and Tourism, we are very pleased to invite professionals and experts from academic institutes, industries, and international associations to share their thoughts on the future trends and the development in the events industry. So I'm very grateful that TCEA organized such a great event for today. May I allow me to express my gratitude in Mandarin for Taiwan's audience. 现场还有我们线上与会的嘉宾，大家午安。今天我非常高兴能够代表经济部国际贸易局以及外贸协会，来欢迎各位参加今天的这个由中华国际会议展览协会所主办的这场专业课程。那这一次呢，我很荣幸能够邀请到会展产业的一个精英，还有这个领袖们来一起共襄盛举。那真的非常感谢中华国际会议展览协会以及会展先进们的支持。那这个肺炎的疫情呢，对我们全球的社会带来了非常大的一个冲击，而且在这个时候呢，全世界都面临了到后疫情时代的一个艰困的复苏啊。那旅游产业也在开始慢慢的重启当中，也因此呢，它需要比以往更多的加速的快速的转型，来打造多元而且充满魅力的奖励旅游的风格。那么今天这个主题呢是 Smart 所有前面的这个题目都有加一个 Smart， 就表示未来这个在科技快速发展的一个情况当中呢，所有的客户的要满足客户的需求，还有要怎么样能够更好的服务我们的客户，我们要如何运用科技来累积我们的数据，再提供更客制化的服务。这个应该就是我们后疫情时代每一个企业在做数位行销，还有在思考怎么样提供更完整的一个客户的一个服务，我们所必须要努力学习的。那今天真的有非常多很棒的国际的讲师来参与今天的课程。那我觉得这是我们这个会展产业这一次今年度应该是第一个这么国际化的一个活动就我们这个会展人陪的角度来看，所以我们今天非常高兴能够看到各位先进还有线上的朋友们来一起参加这样子的一个课程。那未来外贸协会还有这个我们的协会也还会继续再提供给各位先进更好的课程，希望大家一起来学习努力，谢谢。
Thank you, Mrs. Law. Now, let's welcome Mrs. Florence Chua, the Managing Director of Asia Pacific PCMA, to introduce their organizations. So, Mrs. Chua, please.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the invitation to the Taiwan Business Event Day. My heartiest congratulations to the Taiwan Convention and Exhibition Association for your 30th anniversary. Let me introduce myself briefly. I joined PCMA last month in August, and before this, I spent about 11 years in mainland China, focusing on helping international organizations enter Asia Pacific and China. And then in the later years, I was really more focused on helping the Chinese brands with their international activations. Taiwan is one of my favorite destinations in the region, and I really look forward to being able to visit again and to meet with the community there. So PCMA, we are incorporated in 1958 with our headquarters in Chicago. PCMA vision is that business events drive social and economic progress. We support the professional development of business event professionals globally to achieve personal and business success. We started our international expansion 4 years ago in Asia-Pac through the acquisition of a regional association in Singapore. Today, we represent over 7,000 stakeholders in DMOs, in corporates, in agency, in associations, faculty, students, and suppliers. We are now very much focused on helping the industry to upskill with the digital event strategies course, which is also in line with today's theme on smart events, smart tourism, and smart solutions. The PCMA Foundation is delighted to offer 3 APAC DES scholarships to the TCEA community, and we look forward to having you in the upcoming cohort. Finally, we do offer free webinars to the community for knowledge exchange. Please feel free to join us. Another asset that we have is our Convene magazine, which is probably one of the best business event magazines globally. So some of the articles are free on our website. Please do check them out. And we have a convening EMEA conference that is happening in 2 weeks' time with digital options if you have interest in European developments. In closing, thank you TCA for the opportunity to be part of this event and everyone who has made this possible. I have no doubt you will all take away new knowledge, skills, and connections to power the industry forward. Once again, congratulations to TCA for your 30th anniversary. We started our collaboration with you back in 2018, and we look forward to stronger partnerships and continue collaboration. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much for Florence for the introduction of PCMA. So next, I would like to introduce the president of IFITT, Professor Juho Pesonen, to give us an introduction about IFITT.
Dear IFITT Talk Taipei participants, it is my pleasure to welcome all of you to this fantastic event. My name is Juho Pesonen. I'm a professor of tourism business at the University of Eastern Finland, and I'm also the chairman of the board of the International Federation for Information Technology in Travel and Tourism. Technologies play a major role in the future of travel and tourism. We need skills, knowledge, and understanding to get the best out of the possibilities that technology creates. That is what IFITT is for. We believe that by sharing knowledge, tourism as a field and as an industry can develop. I have myself found this IFITT mission to be an important one, but IFITT is also a community that warmly welcomes all of you to join. I have been an active member of IFITT for more than a decade myself, and I have enjoyed it a lot. I have learned a lot about e-tourism. I have met fantastic people, have created excellent collaboration with experts from all around the world. I can warmly recommend joining IFITT to all of you. IFITT members are the ones who make events like this possible. On behalf of IFITT, I want to thank Taiwan Convention and Exhibition Association for hosting the event. I would also like to thank Rosanna Long and everyone else who have made this event possible. I hope all of you will enjoy the event, will get new ideas and knowledge on e-tourism, and meet new people. If you do, please consider becoming an IFITT member and supporting us to help e-tourism move forward. Thank you and enjoy.
Thank you so much for your host presentation. As an IFITT member, so I would also like to take this opportunity to do a very short introduction about what is this organization. Maybe in Taiwan, IFITT is not a popular association that not many people are aware of this organization. Actually, IFITT formed around 30 years ago by a group of researchers in Europe. And they will be celebrating their 30th anniversary in 2 years, so it is quite a long time. So, So this is our board. As you can see, our board members consist of people all around the world. We have people from Europe, from Asia Pacific, from United States, from Middle East, from Africa. So we consist of a wide range of people. And you can see the number of members. We're having around 330 active members nowadays. With majority of them, of course, is in Europe because this is formed in Europe. And you can see Asia Pacific members is growing very rapidly. We found a lot of members from Japan and Korea. They're also actively participating. So that's why you can see a lot of research based on smart tourism are now happening in Korea and Japan. So we look forward more and more Taiwanese members will be joining IFITT so we can exchange our ideas together in this organization. So the major difference between IFITT and any other academic association is we really concerned about industry. We want to become a connection, a bridge between the industry people and the academic. So we organize different events throughout the year. For example, like IFITT Talk today, we would like to invite the academic people to come in to the industry to look at what they need and exchange our ideas, to share about our research insight with all the industry people. We don't want academics to stay in the ivory tower to just do whatever research we like in the lab, but we want to know what the industry people want to let you experience what is our research findings. So Enter Conference is the annual conference that IFITT organizes every year. So Enter Conference actually is starting from 1994. And after that, we start having the term e-tourism. And then we try to introduce technology in tourism. So nowadays, we believe, okay, e-tourism is a little bit outdated. We hope that smart tourism will be the future direction, or maybe we will find something else in the coming next year. So this year, we were having our Enter Conference in hybrid mode. So later on, I will share some information. If you are interested, you are also welcome to join the Enter Conference. And not only the academics will join the Enter Conference, we have a lot of industry people will also join the Enter Conference, and we will exchange ideas during the conference. So IFITT Talk is also one of the major contributions of IFITT, because we believe exchange information is really important for us and also to contribute to the industry. So any member or any committees would like to contribute their research ideas will organize this kind of events. And we also welcome industry people. If you have any topics that you would like to invite the academic people to join, so please contact us. We are happy to invite our researchers from the IFITT board to participate in any kind of this event. So just like today, we have Professor Uli Gressel. She is also an active member in IFITT. She is very happy to contribute her research ideas about smart tourism to you in this afternoon. So to become a member, so please feel free to scan the QR code and join as our member. So there are lots of resources online. So as a member, you can retrieve a lot of academic papers, our latest research information. So please feel free to join as a member. So I look forward to see you in the near future. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's move on to our first very exciting event. Is our keynote speaker. So our keynote speaker is Professor Uli Gressel. She is from the University of Southern California. And her research topic present today is Smart Destination Under the Shadow of COVID-19. And I'm so happy to invite our IFITT member, Professor Yolan Yuan. So she is from Donghai University, and she will be the moderator of this session. So let's welcome two of them to share their ideas.
Hi everyone, welcome to this virtual event. I'm Yolan Yuan and super excited to meet intelligence and leader of event management here. Internet has just celebrated its 50th birthday. From school lessons and office work to physical exercise, travel planning, and shopping, more aspects of people's daily social and professional lives are moving online as a result of a COVID-19 pandemic. Internet service have been rise in usage from 40% to 100% compared to the pre-lockdown level. More than ever, we need the internet and eager to know how we can use it to leverage our work. Today's speaker, she is known for her work in human technology interaction with an emphasis on electronic decision aids, social media marketing, smart technology, and the technology adoption. The keynote is a senior research fellow at USC, a fellow of the International Academic for the Study of Tourism, and a long-term member of former board member of IFITT. She will share her insight on smart destination under the shadow of COVID-19 to help us survive through this pandemic era. With the pleasure, I present Professor Uli Gressel to you.
Thank you so much. Well, I would like to say a thank you for actually having me, inviting me to this event and giving a talk to you. And I am going to give a brief introduction to smart tourism, just to give an overview, and then I'm going to specifically talk about the pandemic and what it means for smart tourism, and then I will talk about the specific ways in which I think smart tourism will have to move forward in order to help with the tourism recovery. So what do we actually mean by smart tourism? Smart tourism is about integrating the physical layer at a destination with a technological layer. So that means the application of smart technologies, the creation of a technological infrastructure from which then data can be derived. And this data feeds into the governance of the destination. It also helps businesses at the destination create value propositions. And ultimately, it creates a superior, enhanced, technology-mediated experience for the tourist. And at that experience layer, there's additional technology used by the consumer, and so data then is created again and feeds back into the business layer and the governance layer. So, smart tourism then is really about building a smart tourism ecosystem at the destination, where data is kind of the food, right? And there's a multitude of players that are then engaged in this value creation space, using that data and creating new kinds of experiences, new kinds of business ventures, and new kinds of partnerships between government institutions, industry, and consumers. Now, a smart destination then becomes a space that is infiltrated with innovation, right? It's also important that it becomes inclusive. It's accessible for all. It is established on that cutting-edge technology infrastructure, but it also has in mind sustainable development, and it facilitates the interaction of the visitor with the physical environment, but it also has the quality of life of the residents in mind. So the definition that I just presented to you actually is one that comes from the industry. Segitur is the Spanish government tourism organization that has been really successful in developing and promoting smart destination concepts in Spain and beyond. So what does this then mean for destination governance? What is a smart DMO in this context? And from my perspective, it means that it's really moving away from just purely a marketing organization and becoming more of a management player. It also really sits in the middle between government and industry, and between industry and consumers. So I think a smart DMO needs to lobby and maybe even partly sponsor the development of that infrastructure. It needs to curate and manage smart tourism data. It needs to facilitate the development and uptake of relevant applications within this digital business ecosystem. And it needs to support tourists in learning about and consuming these smart tourism experiences. And finally, it also needs to make sure that everything that is happening at the destination is linked to quality of life and sustainability goals. So I'm not going to go into details here, but I think the functions of a smart DMO are about mobilizing the stakeholders, right? Matchmaking so that new partnerships can be formed, managing data, managing interactions, managing the infrastructure, but also sensing, monitoring what's going on at the destination, actively using this data, as well as shape-shifting, so becoming multiple things, right? Becoming very agile in terms of what a DMO needs to do, and in some instances becoming more of a governance player, and in others more of an innovation kind of promoter. But then ultimately, all of this leads to stewardship. So this is really important for smart tourism development, that we have that big well-being and sustainability goal at the end. So how has COVID really challenged all of this, right? Smart tourism was well underway. A lot of investments were made in smart tourism infrastructure. But with the pandemic, we saw a total collapse of international tourism. On the other hand, in some places at least, there were not just maintenance of domestic tourism, but maybe even growth in domestic tourism, and the emergence of different kinds of tourism. So, for example, in the United States, we saw a movement towards the visitation of national parks again, and van life, so people traveling in smaller vans around the country. What we have also seen is an urban exodus. So people are fleeing the big cities because this is where the COVID hotspots were. They also don't have to work in their actual workplaces anymore. So working from anywhere, right, means that they were finally able to maybe move to their dream home in the country. Now, smart tourism is a very urban kind of initiative at the moment, and it hasn't really made that move into more regional or rural kinds of destinations. So this has really become a challenge for smart tourism development. There's also a drop in the use of public infrastructure because of COVID, so people don't like taking the bus or subway, and smart tourism is about creating, new kinds of mobilities, and so this is a big issue in terms of smart tourism development. There are also multiple pressure points now for governments in terms of needing to invest in healthcare, not being able to fund anything else, dealing with problems in the schools. So tourism, unfortunately, even though it has become a big problem, tourism is not necessarily the main worry for some of these governments. We also have a general lack of workforce now because of the pandemic, and that really affects the hospitality industry and tourism overall. So it also affects the development of technological infrastructure, right? So skilled labor is missing because we don't have migrants coming in as much as we used to. There's also supply chain issues, and for smart tourism, one of the biggest ones is the chip issue. So chip manufacturing and delivery is really behind, and it's affecting the automotive industry, but it's also affecting anything that is about creating a digital infrastructure. There's also a real danger that tourism now is being scaled back despite this pent-up travel demand that will for sure realize once the pandemic is over. So here's a recent study on US adults, asking them how excited they actually are about taking a vacation after the pandemic. And you see here that especially high income, highly educated people are very, very much in need of a vacation and very eager to travel again. So in Europe, we saw it a little bit already, where as soon as the lockdowns ended, we immediately went back to a situation of over-tourism. So from under-tourism during the pandemic, a complete change again to over-tourism and back to the extremely difficult problems that creates at destinations. The good thing about the pandemic for smart destinations is that there was a push towards digital tourism and digital services. So now even smaller providers are realizing that they have to engage with technology. And also a lot of consumers became really used to engaging with technology. So whether it's virtual experiences on Airbnb or QR codes instead of menus, or just getting used to using mobile apps to actually being tracked, this is really a positive influence on smart tourism. Now, smart tourism in general, I think, is really an opportunity to help recover destinations from the pandemic, because it is all about creating technological solutions to pandemic-related problems. So whether it's the cleaning, the tracing, the monitoring, the contactless service, this is what smart tourism is about. It also places an emphasis on connectivity. And I think in the pandemic, it became very obvious that we have to invest in connectivity. So that is, the layer on which smart tourism is building. But there's also an opportunity to rethink technology use and how it can serve emerging tourism agendas. So if we think about rethinking tourism, it also means rethinking technology and how it's used and implemented. Now, smart tourism provides this concrete pathway to sustainability because sustainability is the ultimate goal of smart development. So that includes a mitigation of over-tourism. But smart tourism also thinks about good destination governance, right? And so the ethics and the justice issues that we see in some of the destinations are directly addressed by smart tourism. Ultimately, what this crisis has taught us is that we need more resilient destinations, and smart tourism can help with that as well because it equips destinations with data, with monitoring skills, and with flexibility. And overall, I think it really strengthens the role of DMOs, and we need strong DMOs now after the pandemic because we need holistic destination management. Now, smart tourism sometimes is really focused on just creating technology, but I would like to really emphasize that it is a process and it needs input, it needs assets at the destination. It also needs drivers, and technology is one driver, but there's also policy, and then there's community. It is built on participatory governance. And it should have specific desired outcomes in mind. So whether that is innovation, well-being, sustainability, or more just governance, really the process should be about reaching these outcomes. And then once these outcomes are reached, they create inputs again, so the feedback loop is closed. Now, what has become even more important during the pandemic is really thinking about maybe moving away from seeing tourism as an isolated part of a destination and really integrating smart destination and smart city efforts. So instead of thinking about tourists separately from residents, we need to connect these efforts. We need to really think about how smart destinations can benefit from some of the infrastructure that is being put in place, but then also how residents can take advantage of some of the touristic experiences we are creating in a smart destination. So from my perspective, a smart tourism city then combines the two elements of a smart city and a smart destination in order to be a more holistic, well-being oriented place or space where there's convergence of efforts, where there's synergy, where there's liquidity and more of a fluid consumption time frame, where it's not just about thinking about tourists who come into a place and use infrastructure or applications just for a short term, but where we think about really the benefits of the smart tourism infrastructure for everyone in this space. So what we need really is to think about smart tourism as a way of thinking about the future. And smart tourism for me is in essence a utopian vision of the future of tourism. And it really moves us away from the tech-topias that prevail in much of the literature as well as in practice. Unfortunately, these technology-focused visions of tourism fail to truly mobilize communities and tourism stakeholders to work together and create that alternative future. So we need something else. And that something else, I think, is a smart tourism mindset. So it's really a collective mindset that allows us to come together to envision that future of tourism at the destination. A mindset is a frame of mind, a way of thinking, a set of assumptions, and it critically influences everything we do. It shapes how we interpret things. And for smart tourism development, we need a growth mindset, not a fixed mindset. So it's a mindset that really focuses on a sense of purpose, but also on learning and on reflecting. And it's a mindset that I think will lead to success and resilience because of these characteristics. Now, a smart tourism mindset needs to be guided by values. And so a smart tourism agenda cannot be value-free. And it needs to also make these values explicit so that everyone in that smart tourism ecosystem can buy into them. And they need to be communicated well. And I think the DMO plays a critical role in that. A smart tourism mindset is also creativity focused. So because we need to continuously envision that future, we need to understand the importance of play and experimentation in this ecosystem. It also has to be a change mindset, and this is the most difficult one, I think, in tourism. It needs to be all about agility, and it needs to really build capacity to change into the tourism industry, because we need the ability to anticipate as well as shape technological change in ways that really benefit the smart destination. So to sum this up, I think COVID-19 brings challenges to smart tourism development, but I think it brings even more opportunities to the table. I think the only way, though, that we can realize smart destinations is that we need to move away from this isolationist perspective, and we need to combine smart tourism city concepts into our thinking, right? So combining smart cities and smart destinations into this broader smart development effort. It also means that we need to adopt a smart tourism mindset that ensures a long-term perspective, system-level change, and continuous innovation and evolution. So for me, ultimately, smart tourism development during and post the pandemic means the creation, the promotion, and the implementation of the smart tourism mindset. And I think you all, as industry players, have a very important role to play in this. So again, thank you so much for this opportunity. And here's my email, so if you have any questions, unfortunately I will not be present at the talk, but please reach out and I'd be very happy to hear from you. Thank you.
Thank you, Uri. And
Okay, so this is a very insightful talk, right? I really learned a lot from Professor Grasso. She has been working on smart destination for quite some time. And sometimes I really agree with what she's talking about. It's because technology itself is fixed. We can't call technology smart, but actually where the smart come from? It's come from human. We have a smart mind that makes the technology very smart. So that's why we need a smart mindset in order to make everything work really properly. So now I think Professor Yuan is here and would like to take some questions because Professor Grasso cannot be here today. So if you have any questions, please let us know. So Professor Yuan will try to pass your question to Professor Grasso, and then she will contact you later and then provide you some information. So any question from the floor?
So hello everyone, I'm Yolanda Yuan, and also known as Yo-Yo. I'm working for hosting stationary in Shanghai University, specialized in smart destination planning and my big data analyst, and for youth research. I'm happy here to take everyone's questions. It's either
Yeah, thank the professor from the University of Southern California gave us this speech, which I would relate this smart into green. So has it anything to do with sustainability, CSR, all that? This is the question. Yes.
From my perspective, yes, it is. I think this is a really critical moment. We are not just using smart technology for the business. We actually would like to use the technology to build a sustainable future. And here is why we call the smart mindset. We need to think seriously think about how we use the technology so that can bring us a sustainable future. When we say sustainable, we are not saying that just economic sustainable. We would like to bring build a win-win case. Here is sustainable for the environment, and it's also sustainable for the society and the business. So the priority concern will go back to the environment, because without environment, we will have nothing. So there are so many technologies that will bring us about the sustainable. There are, I always bring up one or two examples. For example, when we do for the event, we need green. So one technology is called green infrastructure. That's a green architecture. That's one of the green technology. Also, we started concerns about the penetration rate in the city. That's also when we had, we like to hold a big event, and we need to build a city. So the whole city might need to concern about how to build the road, so the road can, like work like a sponge and can absorb the water and going back to the soil. So that's the whole system of planning. So this smart tourism development and planning is not just the internet or connect to the business to business. We need everyone. We would like to invite everyone to have a big picture and a great vision to think about how we can use the technology.
Thank you for the answer. I'm a practitioner. It's the concern of ours is not just us, it's also our clients. They are doing just once in the conference side. Say every 10 years, the meeting comes to Taipei, and this poor organizer, which is us, would have to cope with our clients because they want to offer the best to their participants. And there's a conflict between using it once or using it forever. And the over-tourism is another thing that we would need to consider, that they can get as much as they wanted, which it's just against our goal of keeping the balance. And all these practitioner problems, have you thought of it? And this is our main problem now, that we could not lower our costs. Instead of a hybrid meeting would be much higher than virtual or physical meetings. All these cost down things that would stop us from doing so. I think the academics should pay more attention to that instead of telling us what to do. We understood what is going on and we would want to help. But people would think that we're costing too much to do just once. Thank you.
I agree with your opinion. It's not just one person or one university's effort. We do need everyone to join us. So I think the star sharing and the collaboration is the fundamental to create the whole effort. So I think thank you. And I think it would be great if the industry people can give us some chance so we can start our collaboration. You mentioned the project. I think that's so
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I have one question here from the floor. Is there any big differences among local governments to deal with the smart destination development globally? Thank you so much. So any question from the floor? And for the audience who are online, you are also welcome to type your message on the system. So I will be reading out the questions. Or if you cannot do it now, if you can also put your comments there. And then I will also collect all the information and pass to Professor Uri Guesso, and then she can contact you directly. Any question from the floor? Okay, if not, if you can also write it down on a piece of paper, so I will pass it to Yo-Yo, and then we will pass the information to Professor Guesso. Okay, so yeah.
I just have one more last remark. So we promote AI, but actually a real person.
Yes, we totally agree. Okay, thank you so much, Yo-Yo, for the time. Okay, so thank you so much. So it's time for a coffee break. So maybe we can go outside, and then we serve some snacks outside so you can enjoy. So 10 minutes break. So please come back after 10 minutes. See you later. Okay, next, we will moving on to our second program for today. So we will have a panel discussion. So the moderator of today's panel discussion is Mr. Philip Pang. He is the he is the marketing and event manager of PCMA. And we will have 3 panelists joining us today. Mr. Richard Koh, the CEO of Roundtable PCO, Mr. Victor Tsang, CFO of KK Day, and Mr. Matthew De La Fosse, Senior Director of Business Development of ELO. So I will pass the floor to Mr. Philip Pang now. So the floor is yours, Mr. Philip.
Hi. Great. Thank you, Rosanna.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Philip Pang. I'm actually the Education and Events Manager for PCMA Asia Pacific. I must say it's a pleasure to be the host and the moderator for this coming session. If you can see, I'm actually joining you from Singapore. I must say I would love to be there with you in person in Taiwan. Okay, there I am on stage. Yes, would really love to be there in person with you in Taiwan. But unfortunately, here I am in Singapore. But great to be with everyone. So hope everyone has had a fantastic break, and let's get straight into the next session. Before that, I'd like to bring it back to the team. Smart events, smart tourism, and smart services. And as we go into this next segment, where we hear from those in the industry through our 3 speakers, I'd like you to think broadly about technology, while also reflecting on the takeaways from the first session by Professor Gretlo. And more importantly, with the pandemic, what are things that have changed? The way that I'm coming to you now via webcam, how this is playing now out on YouTube Live. But at the same time, what are things that have not changed? How about connectivity? How about the need for human connection? Has that changed or has that not changed? So think a bit about that. So we know technology will always play a role, but it's an enabler rather than end goal, which is where a lot of companies, brands, and events start tripping up and start meeting with obstacles. And I do think we need to think a lot more holistically about the value that technology can add, not only to an event or the delegate experience, the event experience, but the wider business, about our company's goals, our company's objectives. And so with this thought in mind, joining me today, we have Richard Koh, CEO from Roundtable PCO, veteran in the Taiwan event space. We have Matthew De La Fosse, the Senior Director at IAO, who you probably saw online just now with me. At the same time, Victor Tsang, who is CFO from KK Day, leading Asia Pacific focused tours, activities, attractions, and local travel experiences platform. And so in the same order, we will each take 10 minutes diving into how they have innovated and designed technology-driven solutions to their organization. And then following that, I will then invite everyone back all together for the Q&A panel discussion. And so with that, please join me to welcome Richard Koh to the stage. Richard, the floor is yours.
Thank you. So, can I hold this and, okay. Once again. Thank you. It's really an honor to be here, and especially physical attendance. They are all the seminar here. And once again, I would like to convey my congratulations to our society, and also especially to the Foreign Affairs Bureau of MOEA, and also to the TITRA, because you really done a great job for helping our industry to be stand up again. I mean, which is I think is quite important. And also thanks the IFITT and also the PCMA for their support, because in this very critical time, and we have those support, which is really important for us. Okay, let me stand here. And so I only have 10 minutes, so as a practitioner and also a industry player, I really trying to tell you that's how difficult we are, but also we were using the technology to enhance our business to coming back. So in celebrating the 30th anniversary for Taiwan Convention and Exhibition Association, which is TCEA, and I'm also a newly elected the executive board director. And as today is Taiwan Business Event Day, which is I think it is very important for our association. Good. Let's watch the future trend of the event, which is an event. I mean, the trend is meaning a power of change, a meaning of the how we are going to adopt and as for our future business. So for us, it's not really that working. Okay, so how does this happen? Why we have the technology which is using in our industry? Because on 2009, sorry, I got to stand here again. So, okay, good. Okay. Okay, that's because in 2009, we have a perfect storm, which is happened in Europe. And we have a volcanical ashes, which is disturb all the flight. So all the flight, someone might be stuck in somewhere in the airport, in somewhere else. And this is a really critical time. So from 2009, and we have this. Whoops. Okay, we have this, which is 85% of the US company, they cut on their budgets, which is very much like right now we're having right now. And so they are cutting all kind of manpower supply or for the travel expenses. So meeting don't look just like anymore like this, very much like physical, right? But also we are having video conferencing starting from 2009. And I started the business for video conferencing from 2013. And I was making a connection with the operation room from the hospital and having a seminar in the same time in Kaohsiung, and the people in sitting there, and they pay for it, and they were watching all the video for the operation. And so the world is collecting right now. So why we having the video conferencing? Because of the alternative format, because we have improving the interaction, because we have the opportunity to include more people. Yes, because of the physical time, so we have a lot of people might join us in the air. I mean, might be in the, I mean, no need to be a physical presence. So right now we might have 400 people or 500 people join us together today. So it might extend the meeting benefit. So right now, the COVID-19, we were under the tsunami of the COVID-19, and we are the live event sector were one of the hardest hit by the pandemic. Yes, we are on the first row. Erica was telling me that we're on the first row of the tsunami. Yes, we are, but we're almost dying. But right now, what should we do? I mean, the economic impact of the event was estimated US $28 trillion. And this is information I just got it from Florence, from the PCMA. I just got it yesterday, which is, I think it's quite important because they have the estimation, and because of the economic output, and also we lose 114 millions of job opportunity. And this is happening right now. So let us take a little event technology trend to observe which is the most important one. So 6 years ago, I started with the video conferencing, and right now, 94% of business say video conferencing is increasing productivity. So O2O, but audience take control. Remember this. audience take control because it's mean. I mean, no matter it's a physical or in the air, all the attendees are important, especially to our client. So I have done at least for 20 video conferencing for the last 1 year, last 12 months, and which has increased a lot of ministry and also a lot of government institutions. They were helping. They were hoping that they can have all those video conferencing to connect them. And 5 years ago, I started with the facial recognition, which is a smart access control for terminal. And this is the core technology can do the facial recognition and also to do the temperature measurement, also the thermal imaging, and also attendance management, which is used in many occasions of the event. So this is one of the video, which is only 1 minute, and I can show you. I'm sorry that the voice might be a little bit small. Don't look at me because I'm too fat for that. Okay, so this is a thermal, and this can measure your temperature, and as well as you can do all the facial recognition, so all the attendees can be recognized at once during 0.5 seconds. 0.5 seconds. So you see here, you hear the voice, which is when 体温正常, which is mean that your temperature is good enough. Okay. So I just look at it. But right now we have the second generation, which is you can have the lens for 1.8 meter, which is quite a good use. Good. So this is another one. So we are using also the augmented reality right now. Augmented reality, which is that let's have the video. You can see that this is Taiwan blue magpie, and it's flying in our souvenir, which is we were sending out for our gift as a conference gift. And you can see that, which is just quite amazing that a lot of people see that and see that why not we can use the augmented reality to enhance to our conference gift for that. Good. And also we were developing a mobile cloud service, which is Acupass are also doing that, but I'm sorry, maybe I were working too long for that. So for 31 years. So I were trying to develop a cloud that can enhance, what is that? To integrate all the registration, check-in service, payment flow, and push notification, and also content management, promotion, and online questionnaire, and also data analyze. So this is what we are doing right now to face with all this disaster. I'm sorry, maybe later we will have discussion, but right now for us, the biggest challenge is that we don't know the disaster, what time it will be ended. No, we don't know. The government don't know. So we should have some policy for doing that. And also with the artificial intelligence, which is using in many phases of of our event. Especially we can using the voice. And we are right now trying to do more, we call it remote asymmetric interpretation, if we can do it. So it can be helped that everyone can listen, like Richard is speaking Chinese, or I speak Salam Alaikum wa Alaikum Salam. This is Arabic. But while I speak Arabic, you can hear the voice is Chinese translation, which is good for you. I mean, it will be extending for more use. Oh, in conclusion, because I have 10 minutes only, the industry business model is changing. The thing worry me is the business model, because people don't want to pay more money. They don't have more budget. They need to change the style, the model they were using in the conference industry. So, as well as our industry, our DNA has changed. So let me find you that's what I say event industry need to find their way to reset. And this reset need to cooperate with a lot of sectors in the industry, no matter it's tourism, no matter it's hotelier or with the traffic, or even with Taipei Days. We were using no matter it's a tour operator. Good. So using the digital transformation, the event organizer should increase the technology adoption, which is to solve the problem, to add value, and also easy to use. Again, I'm not a scientific researcher. I'm not a people that I can do all those systems, but I am adopting it, and I'm using to my customer, especially to my prospect. And many people are afraid of it. Many people do not hate to accept the new technology, and this is what we call it simplicity. We were trying to simplify all those technology and make them easy to use. Good. So on the second one, the advance in for the event for the AI. So the AI is impacting the event industry, and also for doing the networking and deeper attendance understanding. One thing for sure that we're using in 2018 in the Taiwan Orchid exhibition. So we're using the answering machine that which can answer all kinds of a question. And in face with all the prospect, they were coming in and they might ask a question: how much is the price? How much is the ticketing? How much are they having any parking lot? Anything like that? Good. So in the end, technology is a driver, but not a goal. So this is a secret ingredient that's mean here. We're doing networking, doing the content, doing the experience, but mostly is the care. So we need to care our business. Okay? So finally, the keynote win. I will very highly strong suggest and also recommend the TITRA and also the Foreign Trade Bureau that can help us that we can team up all the private sector, let's say the hotelier, the transportation segment, or of course also the academical segment, and also with the PCO, the organizer segment. Yeah, but finally, this is the final page. The best connections are made by human. Once again, technology is enhanced by human. We have to be more humane to make it possible, to make it workable. And this is what we do. So simple, social, and fun for the interactive experience. So this is the final page. Once again, very much thank you, Philip. And you were also hosting yesterday for the seminar also. And if you have any information or any story you want to tell me, or you want me to tell you more story, please, you have the email address here. Thank you very much for having this.
Alright, Richard. Well, I really like what you mentioned about how technology is the driver and how the goal, and I think it's a
Right now, I'd rather show you short video of that. Let me change the sharing. Share it here. Right. This is a typical day for hotels today. This starts with a good morning calls. And then comes the endless line of checking in and out.
Yeah, very appreciative to have this opportunity to introduce KKday to everybody if you haven't used KKday products before yet. So I'll use the next 10 minutes to kind of more on a high level to introduce the company and our background. And we've been definitely one of the pioneers in digitalizing the travel space across Asia Pac, right? Okay. Great. Yes. So maybe I could start off. KKday is about 7 years old. We've been the pioneer in trying to digitalize the travel space in Asia Pac. The 7 years, high-level background, we've raised about $100 million USD of capital from many different Taiwan and global institutional investors. Last year, we raised about $75 million USD in the midst of COVID. We had Taiwan's National Development Fund, Guofa, invest in us, and Japan's Co-Japan Fund, government associated fund, invested in us. So these capitals are, give us a resource to help digitalize the space. And we're focused on leading the Asia kind of local experience travel space. So within travel, we broadly break it down into a couple buckets of opportunities. There's a platforms that sells digitalized flight tickets and sells flight tickets, platform that focus more on hotels, and then platform that focus more on when the traveler land in destination and they will need anything related to any products, any supplies related to that in destination, like train tickets, local tours, activities. So KKday is focused on this very last piece of this travel spending. On the whole, this last piece of travel spending is about 50% of the total kind of travel spend, so very, very large kind of addressable market. So historically, this local experience kind of travel spending, a lot of it is in package tours, right? This is a very historic way of people, when they're traveling overseas, they'll go through a traditional travel agency, and it's a 5-day tour, a very traditional package tour, all preset, right? But I think there's definitely a trend moving towards where travelers are traveling more independently, right? They don't need to have rigid times, travel in big groups. They're traveling independently. I think we're already seeing this trend before COVID, led by millennials, young travelers. They want flexible timing, and they want to go visit more unique places, right? So young travelers were leading this kind of independent travel trend. I think fueling the independent travel trend is also the advent of budget airlines, right? Making flights cheaper, so you don't need to go through group tours to get cheaper flights, right? Budget airlines, flexible times, people can travel independently more easily. Visa openness, popularity of mobile phones, being accessible kind of internet and information. So when you're traveling to a foreign country with the access mobile, you can find all these different information, convert it into language that right? So a lot of these kind of developments are underpinning and changing kind of travel behaviors, right? Becoming more independent, last-minute booking, be able to access more unique kind of local experiences. So within KKday, like I said, we're focused on the local experience part. These are a couple of the product categories that we focus on, right? Once you land in the end destination, you will need local transportation, right? Through KKday, you can find a lot of different airport pickups or car services, etc. Right? once you land in destination, you may want, local tours or different kind of attractions. For instance, if I go to Japan, right, I'm in Tokyo, and tomorrow I want to plan to visit Mount Fuji. I could open up the KKday app or visit the KKday website to find a lot of different related tours, full day, half day, different kind of selections on KKday app or website. I could find this information. I could book these tours, pay through our platform, and get confirmation through KKday, right? And if there's any issue with this product, the consumer can call our call center to resolve these kind of issue, right? So we're basically a platform to link up, allow users to easily, ad hoc find local travel related products. And on the other side, the supply side, we have a local BD team across Asia Pac to work with tours, activities, attractions, local travel supply vendors to help them digitalize their products and services on our platform. We make that match, right? So in Asia Pac, I would say we're one of the biggest, right? In terms of monthly active usage, we're nearly 10 million users on the platform on a monthly basis, searching and booking through KKday, right? And then on the supply side, through the 7 years, we've built a large product supply base that's over 200,000 related kind of local experience supplies on our platform that spans across 550 cities, right? So this is just a little bit about the global attractions and experience market size. Globally, it's very big. A big part of the spend within travel. Nearly 200 billion USD currently across globally that is spent every year on attractions and experiences, right? But this space right now is still very lowly digitalized. It's about 15% digitalized. So we've been a pioneer. We've been educating this space and pushing digitalization for the last 6-7 years, and still a lot of work ahead. Yeah. So this slide is more on Asia Pac. The attractions and experiences is about 70 billion, right? It's about 1/3 of this kind of global spend. So still very, very big kind of opportunity ahead. So, high level, we're devoting to expand travel experiences and, helping the travel and tourism industry kind of digitalize, right? And then making information more accessible and such. So even though, we've been working, doing this business for about 7 years now, there's still a lot of different issues with linking up suppliers and users, right? There's still a lot of missing orders and bookings. There's no real-time booking updates. When a user book on our platform, oftentimes we cannot instantly confirm the supply, right? And many issues, right? So I think we've kind of, as an industry operator, we continue to invest in technology to help resolve these issues. So last year, we started to promote, this is a SaaS software called Rezio, a cloud SaaS software to help, mainly to help the supply chain link up digitally more efficiently. On one front, for suppliers right now, they've been getting more and more online traffic from many different OTAs, right? But the reality is these suppliers are managing these different online channels in an offline manner, right? They have an Excel every couple of hours or, worst case, every couple of days, they update each online travel channel where they're getting traffic from their new prices, their new inventory availability. So there is a disconnect between when users book and if the supplier actually has that inventory, right? So Rezio is there to help bridge this gap, right? Supplier through the Rezio software can one time upload their products, prices, inventory, and instantly sync up to all the different kind of online channels that they get traffic from, right? So it's a channel manager that is tailored designed for the tourist activities and attractions kind of category. I think that's something that we're definitely a leader in and pushing that digitalization and helping the supply chain link up better digitally. On another front is Rezio also offers this category of suppliers ability to build their own website, quote unquote, to Shopify their services and enable a white label booking engine, payment gateways, all bundled together for suppliers to have their own branded website where they can enable e-commerce capabilities, right? So it's a booking engine as well. So those are some of the other technologies that I think as a company we've invested and gone in deeper to help the industry digitalize and bridge all of this industry products and services and information, inventory availability, dynamic pricing more instantly to users who are searching more, spending more and more time online searching and booking and paying for these kind of products and services. So it's a very, very important bridge, I think, this Rezio product to digitalize the industry. So, we started more aggressively pushing Rezio last year, and we've gotten a lot of big partners to start adopting this SaaS software, right? I think one notable case study is Korea's Nami Island, right? There's probably many theme parks around the world that is still very traditional, right? Nami Island is also one of the bigger theme parks in Korea. I think pre-COVID, annually they have 2-3 million annual visitors, right? Like many theme parks, is very traditional, still very offline, right? Because of COVID, I think there's a lot of downtime, and many of these business operators are thinking about how they should position for the opportunity going forward. And the reality is also more and more users are spending more time, online, researching online, booking online, right? And how do they digitalize their business? So Nami Island worked with Rezio to Rezio help Nami Island provide a turnkey solution to digitalize their theme park. So a couple of things that we help this theme park do, right? One is to standardize their online ticket distribution. One QR code enable ticketless kind of entry. Before you need to buy physical tickets, now it's all ticketless, right? So standardizing this enable them to manage different kind of online OTA channels more effectively. And then secondly is, as said, help them upgrade their e-commerce site, right? With more booking engine capabilities and payment capabilities online. And then the third part is Rezio also help them upgrade the theme park hardware components, right? Now you're getting ticketless kind of QR codes to enter theme parks, but your gates are not upgraded to scan these tickets, right? So Rezio has a whole solution to also upgrade the offline kind of gates capabilities and so on and so forth, right? So a lot of features, turnkey solution that we're helping big and small operators, supply chain operators digitalize. So just kind of ending that, Rezio today, we've gotten over 1,000 suppliers to start using our software, and within this platform, these suppliers offer over 15,000 experiences and products that can be instantly confirmed, instantly linked up. So that kind of concludes my presentation today. We're happy to kind of chat more about it in the panel. Thank you. Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Fantastic. And I guess let's just go straight into it. If I may invite both Richard as well as the CEO back on stage. The CEO to the virtual stage. Time for us to move into the panel discussion. And for all of you who are watching live or virtual on demand, virtual, if you have questions, I think I'll throw the first question to Victor first. Thanks for that sharing. And you did mention that you do help a lot of like industries. You do help a lot of companies push towards like digitization. So going back to the theme, smart events, smart tourism, and smart services, what does that mean to you? In a short sentence, what does the team? How does it relate to you?
Well, I think we've been definitely one of the pioneers in digitalize this the travel industry, particularly for the tourism activities and attraction space. So I think it's part of our DNA, right? I think promoting smart tourism is the trend, right? I think more the user traveler behavior is evolving. They want more flexibility. They want more last minute booking. I think they need more information at the palm of their hands, and we're at the forefront of working with the supply chain to help them bring more exposure to their products and then making it more accessible. So yeah, I think that's definitely the trend going forward.
Okay, Matthew, how about you? In a sentence, smart events, smart tourism, smart services.
I think I'll relate that a lot to the COVID wave that we are experiencing right now. For me, like it just has proven how much the need for contactless interactions is stronger these days. And so the idea of a smart tourism or smart services is not anymore adopting technology against the human service, but more adding something to it and enhancing it with that. And I think that's what we're seeing with the current trend in COVID-19.
Yeah, absolutely. Richard,
Yeah.
you're right in the event space. What does that mean to you when it comes to smart events, smart services?
Well, for us, the technology is the key driver for our changes and also for our, especially for the business income. And it can improve the efficiency, and also you can eliminate all those process in the menu process, or to enhance a better outcome, especially for the business outcome. But for us, we were trying to find a holistic system that can integrate with a lot of function, which is like registration, like payment, or for like cash flow, or for the budgeting write down. So for all this is it need to be more digitalized. But as the presentation, I was saying that most of the customer, they are reluctant. I wouldn't say reluctant, but they are a kind of resistant to receive all those new technology. They want to see all the result, and they're trying to find which is the best way, and which is they can spend the less money to do so. Very much like video conferencing we're using. Right now, we all know that for the video conferencing, the conversion rate is very low. So as a physical event we are holding right now, it's around, let's say, $1 million, NT dollar, of course. But for doing as a online or video conferencing, it might just cost around 10,000. I mean 100,000. I'm sorry. So it's 1/10 of the budget, but people still need like we call the physical need. They still need to have people on site. So again, for us, the digitalization for the event organizer are very important. But again, the technical barrier for us, it's difficult to treat with. It's difficult to tell all my customer that how to use it or how to enhance their event will be better. So this is what I'm saying, yes.
Yeah, and I want to actually press you a bit harder on that, because, and I guess that relates to a question that was fielded by an earlier by someone from the earlier session, that if for someone that's an event practitioner, and if you're only running an event once, the upfront cost is very expensive, especially if you are doing in person and you're doing if you're doing like a hybrid type stuff. So what would be your response to that?
I'm sorry? The last word, I'm sorry?
What would be your response to you for saying that, to run a hybrid event, to have both virtual and to have both, the physical interaction is very expensive. The one-time cost is just too high.
No. On the contrary, that after the after the pandemic, right now, most of our clients is trying to use the hybrid, and we have a survey that's 64% of the response that they were telling that they would like to have the hybrid. So I was helping a lot of to organize the APEC meeting, which right now the APEC meeting, they were having what we call the hybrid, of course, but the physical on-site, they might be having 15 persons only, or 50 person only. But in the air, they might have 100 people. They join to making this discussion likewise. But the problem is that the people were willing to spend a very less budget to have all those events go on. So this is the question right now we were having, that if we don't have the a correct assistance from those what we call the holistic system to help us, it will be difficult. I mean, especially for the event organizer. I mean, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And your point, actually now I want to zoom out a bit to talk about companies in general. So I think question to Victor, and then after that to Matteo. To Victor first, technology, as mentioned, is an enabler. You help companies to digitize, to transform their operations. But as your case study you mentioned about Nami Island, traditional, and a lot of them are offline. I think it's a thing for many traditional companies out there, whether in the event space or any other companies that are affected by the pandemic. What's one mistake that most business owners or business leaders make when they're undergoing this digital transformation?
I think it's definitely, there's a lot of players within the value chain that focus on, different expertise, right? I think for KKday, we have the economy of scale to help you more efficiently bring traffic and users, right? Above and beyond that, we've had the economy of scale to help you, provide software solutions like Rezio, to help you manage your inventory, your prices, help you manage your different OTA channels more effectively, more scale to help you enable e-commerce capabilities for your website, right? Instead of a supplier going and spending a lot of money building their own e-commerce platform with booking engine capabilities, negotiating payment gateway terms, right? Through our scale, I think we could provide a lot of value added and then lower payment gateway rates, right? Et cetera, et cetera. So I think, digitalization is an enabler, definitely a trend because users are spending more time on these platforms and reading off of contents on online platform to make decisions. All of this is happening online now. So it's very important that this industry digitalize, but when it's a big investment too. So my point is, there within the value chain, I think there's a lot of different players that can have invested and have refined and developed very good solutions that is available, and we could all cooperate to digitalize. Yeah.
Matteo, over to you. How about you? You do work with a lot of hotels. I personally feel hotels sometimes are not so fast in adopting technology. Any roadblocks, obstacles that you see that you're open to sharing, and how do you actually bring them over to the other side?
I think that relates a bit to kind of what was said earlier. It's true that some hotels have the tendency to fear technology, I would say, in a way that they don't know how to approach the digitalization, or that they fear that it would replace the service quality that they want to provide and their expertise basically of this service. And it's totally understandable to have this kind of first-hand approach to new technologies. The way we try to approach that fear is to educate them on how this kind of technology is, enables them to do their job better rather than replacing them. And what we keep telling them is that communications between humans is never going to go away. That we can see that right now. We will always need that, be it through virtual or physical way. And so it's true that our technology can automate part of the conversation, but it still needs the input of a human. And we try to show them that basically the automation is one part, but we really focus also on supporting to have better human communications between themselves. And that's the kind of data that we have to provide them. So the way we have them go to the other side, as you said, is basically make their own assessment of the kind of data that they would need and how they would want to improve their communication. So kind of look into themselves before trying to adopt new technologies, so that by knowing where is their main pain point and in which part of the communication flow they want to change something, then we would be able to see what solution could be useful. That's usually how we approach that.
Yeah. How would you propose that a technology like natural language understanding, natural language processing, be used within, say, like the events industry, or conferences, or exhibitions? What are your ideas around?
Wow. Is it a question for me? I don't know.
Okay, yes, so you take a for you.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's. I'm curious to hear about the other panelists on that as well. I don't have a clear product in mind. What I would say though is that we were talking about hybrid events, and I think that's something that is going to stay on the long term. And during those hybrid events, the engagement that we want to see is, I think it's going to be linked to how precise and how relevant the event is going to be for the audience. And applying some part of natural language tools can help that, especially not on automating conversation and making it talk to machines. I don't think that's going to be the main part, but analyzing any kind of communication during an event, prior to an event, to make sure that the matching between the people, the audience, and the speakers, or the matchmaking is more relevant than what it was, even in a physical space. That's something that NIU can trigger and would be very useful. But again, curious to hear about the other.
Yeah, absolutely. I like what you said. It's analyzing that communication pre and post. Yeah. So I'd like to turn this over to Richard. Richard, any thoughts on that?
Well, my answer probably not really related to your heavily related to your question. But here I like to mention that especially after the pandemic, right now we were trying to change our role in our business. So we might change from the a PCO, a professional conference organizer or event organizer, into a strategist. That's very similar. Right now, the PCMA was right now to advance and also advocate to have us a strategist. So during the pandemic, right, the period that we were losing a lot of a contract, which is they were trying to reschedule or even to postpone or even to do that. But the moment right now we were trying to adopt more new technology to helping us to back to the normal. That's using hybrid, using virtual, very much like I just mentioned in the early morning, early afternoon. That's our talk with Victor, that we were using a virtual tour right now in my international conferences, which is I have two very good tour guide leading all those group, which is all on air, and then telling them what's about Taiwan. They go to the Bao'an they go to the Kongmiao, the Confucius Temple, and trying to tell them how to Brabei. Brabei is kind of through on the do wishes to the god. I mean, it's quite interesting. Which is, I think, it might become, again, that's back to the presentation I was saying, that we have to worry, and also we have to rethink about maybe we have to change our business model right now. So once again, very much like Ariel and also very much like KK Day, I would say, I would like to raise the question that how do you do your promotion? I mean, to let all your attendees, your platform is quite holistic, quite good. So you're put on the ground, put on the cloud, and let people. How do all those so-called viewer or the prospect would they come in to see your or using your technology, your service, of course. Sorry.
Question?
I'm not taking your role, Philip. I mean, I just asked the question because I was so wonder. They have 500 employees right now, and I only have 5. Oh my God, it's really terrible business. I mean, sorry.
Sure.
I think you did land on something which I really agree that a lot of times it's the mindset change. It's of change and just adapting and pivoting. I hate the word pivot, but it's been used so many times. But I do think it's hard to take in new ideas if you don't change the old ones. And I think a lot of people struggle with that. And so I want to talk a bit more about, and this question is to Victor, because you are helping people with a lot of digital transformation stuff, and I could imagine that working with management, working with leadership, and trying to change everyone's mindset is going to be a huge problem. But how do you usually overcome that, and what's your advice for people who are trying to navigate this change?
Yeah, we definitely have our work cut out for us. In our space, like I shared earlier, it's only about digital commerce is only about 15% penetrated. A lot of our suppliers are very localized, small mom and pop shops. So it does, I think, as a first step, KKday has invested a lot of local resources in BD teams in Taiwan and Japan, Korea, Southeast Asia to go and proactively reach out and educate these supply chains, right? But I think that's still very limited kind of outreach capabilities. I think it's very important to work with local governments, as well as convention center to really be able to broadcast, the products and services and how this will help the industry, manage their business more effectively, get more business, get more predictable business. right? So we do spend a lot of time, working with these important partners to help educate and digitalize. So yeah, I think it's definitely a collective effort, not just our own effort and pushing this.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned about education, about investing resources to educate. And I want to throw this question out to all three of you. What skills, what attributes should people be educated on? Should people start learning now? Because these skills and attributes will play a much bigger role, outside role, in their company, in their work, in their career, in the immediate term future. Let's hear you first.
That's a very broad question, but I think considering the past 2 years that we've had, flexibility is key. I don't know if you can call that a proper skill, but I think in a way that it's like learning how to not pivot, because you don't like the word, but change your gears and like do something different, adapt to the market from a business perspective. But from an individual's perspective, I think it also comes down to learning, like focusing on how to communicate and make sure that you know what's going on, you understand each other. I think having this flexibility within your organization is really key to help you like stay on the long term and make yourself recognized within an industry.
Thank you. Richard.
Yeah, okay. I hope I'm not complaining, but this is a very challenging period for the PCO and PEO. And we believe that hybrid can be a norm, that's a new normal for us. And AI can be a new electricity, very much like in our life. But right now, I do think that we should hire more new talent, which is they are familiar with digital capability, which is they have the negotiation and communication caliber, which is the very important, because most of the young generation, they do not, I'm sorry to tell you, but they do not know how to communicate with their customer, which is I saw a lot of people nodding right now, that most of the people agree that because they don't have the real skill to treat, to face with all their customer. Yes, right. So one thing for sure that we should unearth all the true value of the of our event, and tell our client and making them to understand to what this event can bring to them, can make their sponsor happy, can to interactive with all those attendees, and also to elevate the whole position, especially the scenario of all the event, and which is that will be helpful. So once again, that I would say don't neglect the power of event industry. The event industry have generated right now the 13th economic body in the whole world. So we should, once again, I will urge that the Foreign Trade Bureau, and also with the TITRA, and also with the union, and also with the TCEA, work together. We should invite all those the relative sector, including KKday, including the ALIO, together think about the way how we should to solving all this problem. And we might have the rebound business booming. That's it might after 1 year. So how can we handle it? So this is my I should say, kind of attribute. And also, yeah, thank you for that. Yeah.
I think you, towards your last part, talked about digital capabilities. I think what you're saying is collaboration within across, multiple stakeholders, whether it's IO or PCMA on, kind of like adjacent verticals, adjacent industries, but I do think that there is so much space for them to come in to help you, help us on the events, on the exhibition side. Victor,
True.
skills and skills that will play an outsized role in the immediate to midterm future.
I mean, the world is changing very fast, even before COVID. Since COVID hit, everything is unpredictable and less and less homogeneous. So you just have to be able to adapt and customize each situation depending on the market you're in. I think for us, we've been able to be resilient. Before COVID, we had 500 people. We maintained this headcount when COVID hit. The team adapted to, before COVID was focused on cross-border travel. And then COVID hit, borders closed, business sunk to zero. But we stayed resilient and we adapted and then shifted our resources into domestic travel. 18 months into this process, a lot of trial and error and iteration and adapting. I could say, our business have been step by step picking up due to from domestic travel contribution. So adaptability and then just not being afraid to fail and iterate fast. And there's always opportunities. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, but I will send my resume tomorrow to send to Victor, though. Trying to keep a flow, though.
Experimentation and failure to me goes hand in hand. So Victor, I want to ask you to speak a bit more on that, on experimentation. How do you actually foster that at PCMA? How do you build that in your company as a leader?
I don't think it's part of the culture because we're the pioneer in digitalizing this space, so we sort of have to, stick our head out and try different things and try to, turn upside down the normal kind of way of doing business, right? So I think from day one, the company, for us to be able to grow and carve out a position, we need to innovate, and then a lot of this is just, going back to the COVID situation, right? Post-COVID, before COVID, we had team structures where it's more centralized, right? International travelers like to hit certain very popular destinations, right? International travelers, when they're traveling, they go through certain marketing websites, information websites to find information. So we could acquire users more homogeneously, right? And develop our supply chain, more homogeneously. Since COVID hit, we wanted to pivot to domestic travel. I think domestic travel scenario is very different in terms of how users are finding domestic travel information is a lot more fragmented because Taiwanese users know, Taiwan very well, and they want to look for more unique, travel experiences. And this may, they're following certain KOLs, they're following certain blog sites, right? They're not everything is centralized around the main search engine, right? So as a team, we need to kind of, in terms of our pre-COVID structure, is more centralized team. Now we need to decentralize this team. So the company broke out the teams into, different product categories. Marketing and BD team need to work together to identify how to find these users within these product categories and evolve, right? So for the last 18 months, initially, take Taiwan team, for example, we developed nearly 3,000 products, but only 800 products are sold, right? So you just have to kind of continue to iterate and identify, what domestic users want and be resilient and continue iterating. So, I think this is sort of, from day one, I think the company culture is, you want to carve out a position for yourself. You can't do the same things as others, right?
Really knows your user well, that they want to be following the carryout. This is the way that they are booking. This is how they want to book their experience if they're traveling domestically. And just to summarize, because we're kind of out of time, before I hand it back to Rosanna, in terms of skills, I noticed that we spoke a lot, the CEO spoke about flexibility of communication, for Richard, communication is a digital capability, but I think there's also that notion of being able to change very quickly and really collaboration, communication is part of it, and from Victor, kind of like being able to adapt, being able to be resilient, and just like trying and not being afraid to fail. That seems like, we're going back to sort of like fundamentals, and it's really all of this like soft skills that's really key. And so with that, I will want to hand the time over to Rosanna. But he'll be staying with me online together with Richard as well as Victor. Rosanna, are you getting any questions from the floor?
Okay.
I think our speakers are all on, and we'll take questions.
Okay, thank you so much, Philip. So now I would like to take questions from the floor. And for the audience who are online, you are also welcome to put your message on the chat box. So we will take all the questions and then we will deliver the questions to our panelists. And anyone from the floor? Yes, Eric?
Hello, everyone. It's Eric Lin, Secretary General of Taiwan Convention and Exhibition Association. I have one question to our moderator, Philip. Actually, because, we are both associations. PCMA is global leaders for business event in terms of the associations. We all know that seldom we heard that government subsidy those associations globally. And but we hit hugely by the COVID-19 as well. We lose our members a lot. And how's your views on the PCMA transformations for COVID-19 in terms of the culture and entrepreneurship within your organization? Thank you.
Thanks, Eric, for your question. I think it's hard to say. And speaking for PCMA, I think it's the same for many associations that are out there. That for a lot of times, the main revenue drivers have been on events as a very big pool. Registration from events, sponsorship from events, as well as a smaller percentage from membership revenue. But as we are seeing from what happened because of the pandemic, we have shifted a lot more into the education space, into the product space, and to me, it's going back to the fundamentals of who our customers are, and I'm reminded of what Victor said, and so it's been a tough, I guess, 2 years. With people come and go, we've had like new products that we've put out. I think this is the most number of products that we've put out in the shortest span of time, and at the same time, change our events this work? Yes, let's invest a bit more. If this doesn't work, let's cut it. Let's take the feedback. Let's put it on. Let's learn from it and let's put out another product again. So that's how PCMA as an organization has been changing across the 2 years since the pandemic. So yeah, I hope this example could shed a bit more light and hopefully inspire people to start changing, start experimenting a bit more, no matter if your organization or whether it's how you're trying to grapple with hybrid events. So Eric, thank you for your question.
Okay, Eric is happy with the answer. Okay, any more questions from the floor? I have one question here for Richard. Because nowadays we are talking about hybrid events, so do you think in the future virtual reality could help to enhance the experience for hybrid events?
You mean the virtual reality?
Virtual reality, yeah.
Whoa, okay.
Wearing this kind of goggles?
To be frankly and to be realistic, that we have, right now, for the industry, we have the video conferencing, and also we have the fair that's in the air. Also the virtual fair. But as most of people know that for the virtual fair, not really that appreciated by the customer, because people can go online and to see their product through many channels. This is one. But for the hybrid, most of our customers, they think the hybrid is necessary. As I mentioned, that it's a new norm. But the people would not adopting new technology, which is they will make the should I say not really good for the business, because people would trying to using easy way. As like Philip mentioned, that you give them the lowest price or the very low price, but they were thinking that why not we're using the Skype? Why not we're using the line to make it a connect? But they forgot that they should have some footage, they should have some after production, they should have a different production for the video conferencing. So this is why I'm saying that video conferencing will be a new normal and will be a main core business for especially for the PCO. And I was trying to say, if go through the many sectors to gear up together and to make a new good platform, which can enhance to make all the customer and all the all client to understand, to realize the value of those events, then it can help. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, any question from the floor? Yes.
Hello, I'm Alice Zhou from Taiwan Institute of Economic Research. I have two questions for all of you. Well, for this topic, we mentioned about the smart event, smart tourism, and smart services. So what do you think about the potential competitors, about the technology company to be the professional MICE organizer? Because as we all know, the smart events is the trend. So there are many technology industry developed right now, especially for the exhibition or event. So what do you think about the competitors? Especially, Richard, you mentioned about the PCO should adopt more technology. So if so what's your strategy? If you develop the technology by yourself in your company, or you cooperate with the technology industry? That's the first questions. And the second one is the personal information security. Since for the smart events, well, actually, this question related to the first one, because traditional PCO or PEO, the core value is their customer information, their clients' information. But now, if they we need to use the technology, so we need to cooperate with the technology companies. So people or the organizer may concern about the client's information. Who will the client information will control? The technology company will have the client's information. So, what do you think about the personal information security? That's the second question. Thank you.
Okay, who was first? Maybe I start with Matthew.
Yeah, I don't think I will have a lot of input on the first question because we're not that into that space, so I don't have any real insights for you about the competition on that part. So let the other respond. But for your second question, that's something we are actually asked a lot, especially when dealing with communications and automation. We are obviously gathering what our customer or our customers' customers say in hotels or in different industries. And privacy and security is a huge topic. So I would say to that, it's important to acknowledge that the vendors, most of the vendors at least, have a privacy strategy applied to their product. And for us, for instance, we make sure that the data we gather is secured and won't be anonymized, so that we don't store and process any personal information except when we add some service for hotels or their clients. So in the end, basically, what the position we've taken is that the data still belongs to the hotel. We just process what needs to be processed to provide our service. But in terms of privacy and security, we secure what we process and we hand over everything to our clients. I think this attitude we think is the right one to have, and the one that would reassure our customers, but mostly end users, that they know whatever tool and technology they use, like any Google Assistant or anything, what they say won't be used against them for purposes that they don't agree with. So that's how we deal with that issue.
Thank you. How about we go with Victor?
Sure. Just kind of echo Matteo in terms of the first question. We're not in the mice business as well. Second one is, as a consumer-facing website, we have this for users to kind of opt into kind of data usage, right? In terms of the data collected for users is mainly driven off of this transaction, right? If they need to do booking and the credit card payment information, we only take what we need to enable this booking process. It's very important to secure data and a very secure data warehousing, right? And such, right? In terms of big data and analyzing trends, certainly is a big part of what we do too. It's anonymized as well, right? Data is a very important part of our business, and letting users know how we're using this data and how secure it is very important as well. So the company has, invested, processes and technologies to ensure that.
Can I skip the question? Because the time is already there. I mean, sorry. Okay, the competition, the mega growth. So Actually, the event industry is an ocean. It's a blue ocean market, which is I think is much better than the travel market, which is I explained differently. And for our perspective, that the competition, I mean, actually is not so huge, and for us, it's we were working together with all those tech factory. Even that after today's seminar, I might work with KK Days and also with the Alio. So it's kind of just like Philip was mentioned, that collaboration. So we have to grow up to win. I mean, it's not a single. I mean, a single market that you can just dive in and just having all the treasures. No, but for us, I think a collaboration will be much more important. For the cyber security, that's I think go to the cloud, and right now the technique are very, very advanced and very sophisticated. That even we're using the facial recognition much better than before. I mean, they're better than 2 years ago. So right now for the security, cybersecurity especially, I think it will be good for us. I mean, it will be more secure than before. And this is always I was mentioned to my client that they should not worry about. And right now we were having all those information, especially for registration. We have a very limited information to be registered. Since I just have your name, we don't even have, if I want your passport number or your ID number, which is just for insurance. And if you don't want it, then we will skip it. So I think it is, also this is a critical moment, but for us, cybersecurity and the competition are still important to us, very victor. For us, we were trying to figure out how to do it better and how to enhance all those, the flow of the cloud. So again, that's I will mention that I have a cloud right now, which is to make all the registration, all the money payment, and all the logging to the in our cloud right now, you just log in one time, and nevertheless, and then you go to different event, then all your information has to be secure already, and you just log in one time. You no need to log in the second time, the third time, no. So I think it will be, I hope I can answer the question, but I know the time is really limited, yeah.
I think I just want to add one point to the question. I will speak on these here. I think Theo, Richard, and Victor have more than covered that. But I think for the question on new competitors, I like to think of it as going back to the basics. That whoever can best meet your customers' needs would be the ones who would then emerge as the newer competitor. In terms of, if you're speaking in terms of say, like exhibitions, then it's going back to the fundamentals of who can best connect the buyer and seller. That and when it comes to like an event, who has the best treatment. So really, it's back to the customer needs are where it is. How I see that transforming and how I see that coming up, and I'll take Richard's point on that, and I echo that it's collaborating with other players who I think are digital first. I think that's where data then comes into the spotlight, where you can make a lot of this like really critical data-driven solutions about your customers to innovate there, to experiment there. So you can really be consistently delivering for your customers. And I think that should be the broader question to ask, instead of just asking who the competitors are. So I hope that's a bit of food for thought. Thank you.
Good.
Okay, thank you so much. I think time's up for today's. I think we also cover most of the question. If any one of you who still wants to ask questions, you are feel free to write your questions on the forum, and then we will pass the questions to the individual panelists. So I think that's conclude our panel session. Thank you so much for Philip for today, giving us very insightful questions to all the panelists, and then we really enjoy. I hope you all enjoy. I really enjoy today's sections, even though I still have one question for Victor, but I will keep it for myself later. I can ask him. Because I have been using KK Day for 3 years, I really have some good experience with KK Day. So that's why I really want to share some experience with him. So, okay, thank you so much, Philip, for today, and thank you all the panelists. So before we close, we would like to invite the president of TCEA, Mr. James Wu, to have the closing remarks for all of us. Thank you.
Okay, this is a very fantastic time. Although I really have a question want to ask Richard about the time. You said new models business and new business model, but the most important thing is how to increase our income, because we turn to the hybrid meeting, turn to the virtual meeting. We need more the technology company to support us, but our income always is from the service fee. But our clients always say, you do the virtual meeting, you don't need to do the on-site service, menu service, F&B service. So you don't need the service fee. So they don't want to pay more service fee. So because Richard is my enter this industry teacher, so so I really want to ask him so how to increase our service fee or our income. Maybe after the following week, you can tell me. The last is we have 3 PCMA, DS, APAC scholarships. For the on-site participants, so you need to fill out the application form. And then after the forum, our staff will contact the winner how to get the scholarships. So thank you everyone, and especially all the speakers, moderators come here to tell us so much fantastic things. Thank you everyone.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Wu. So that's conclude our today's forum. So thank you so much for coming today, and also I would like to thank you everyone who participate online. So I hope you all enjoy this special event. And on behalf of TCEA and also all the panelists, all the speakers, thank you so much for coming today. I wish you all have a wonderful evening tonight. And you don't need to return your name tag today because due to the COVID-19, we won't take it back. So take it home as a souvenir for today and have fun and enjoy. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you.